The popularity of using artificial intelligence is growing at an exponential rate. Machines are now becoming autonomous to aid humanity in completing tasks that are beyond human capability. Given this advancement in technology, should machines be programmed to make ethical decisions for us, like what Nick Bostrom says? Or should machines remain as our tools, servants of humanity, as proposed by Susan Leigh Anderson? We will attempt to evaluate both sides of this debate, giving our rationale why machines should remain as our advisors, despite the advancements in the area of artificial intelligence. According to Susan Anderson, humans are speciesists. This term speciesism is a prejudice or attitude of bias against those members of other species, and in this case, machines. People believe that only humans are capable of being moral agents to make ethical decisions. Having machines taking the back seat as advisors would allow humans to be the ones actively making decisions, which would appeal to the public more than having an autonomous machine decide. In the film Good Hunting, the Hulitings were treated unequally by the humans, even though they might have a similar appearance and cognitive ability. They were still not given the same moral standings as humans, as they were not able to gain their trust, causing confrontations to occur between the two sides. If ethical machines were to be autonomous, it would require people to cooperate with them. Given the already existing social problems such as racism and religious discrimination, what more if there were to be autonomous ethical machines? If these machines were to be implemented and integrated into society, people might not even be willing to allow them to gain their trust. Hence, it would be better for ethical machines to be advisors rather.
Nick Bostrom postulates that artificial intellects are potentially autonomous agents. Autonomy is defined as the ability to make one's decisions with no control by another party. We see examples of this from all over science fiction. In Ex Machina, this is demonstrated through Ava and how she goes beyond all means to escape the facility. Although it can be argued that Ava was never autonomous as she was programmed to escape the facility, the point stands that she wrestled control from her maker in order to achieve her goal, thus achieving autonomy. The problem with autonomous artificial intelligence is the fact that since superintelligence will lead to more advanced superintelligence, the emergence of a completely superior race renders mankind expendable. We are playing a hand of poker, where the pot consists of the existence of humanity itself. Winning the pot will give mankind technological leaps beyond our comprehension, but losing the pot will render mankind useless. All of which will be determined by whether or not the artificial intellect who has gained autonomy decides to keep us around. Our stand on this issue is therefore that this risk is too high for us to bear. Until mankind can properly figure out how to control artificial intelligence, we should not grant them autonomy. That is to say, the artificial intelligence should remain as our advisors. Since superintelligence are beings that are better than man in every single field, a subset of that is that superintelligence will be more creative than man. This would mean that they would be able to design, invent, and perhaps even express themselves in arts, as discussed in the film Zima Blue. This also means that superintelligence will be able to improve itself through its very ability to create. This is what grants superintelligence power over mankind. As biological beings, our capability of improvement is arithmetic compared to the exponential rate of improvement of the superintelligence. This is comparable to competing a binary computer against a quantum computer. If we want to prevent superintelligences from entirely overshadowing us, we need to tame the problem at the root, which is to say, we need to not invent superintelligence in the first place.
One point that Susan Leigh Anderson makes that supports the use of autonomous ethical machines is that machines are more consistent in decision making compared to humans, who are prone to be carried away by their emotions and irrational thinking. By being consistent in making judgments, there will be a standard which will be widely accepted by the public, lowering the chance of dissent among people, as the decisions will not be biased or affected by emotional factors. Having people making decisions instead of machines might not be effective, as those people can be swayed by their personal agendas, rendering what advice given to them useless. In the example of the inevitable conflict, there were people making decisions based on their own motivations, despite having a machine to provide them with optimal answers, and this caused hiccups in the economy. Hence, having a machine make ethical decisions autonomously would remove the human error in decision making, thus enabling decisions to be made quicker and more consistent, always achieving the same goal.
On the other hand, mankind has always imposed our own personalities on the world. This is seen in how we personify animals, inanimate objects, and even artificial intellects. It is human to desire dominance and power. However, it might not be in the artificial intellect's intent to dominate humanity or even extinguish us in any way. By imposing this perspective that artificial intellects possess human-like wants and desires, we are prematurely constricting ourselves to a possibility that might not even exist. However, due to the uncertainty of autonomy and lack of understanding of how artificial intellects will gain sentience, we cannot rule out the possibility that they will want to eradicate mankind as well. This leads us to an impasse. The only way forward that does not risk humanity is to learn more about artificial intellects before creating a superintelligence. In conclusion, we argue that artificial intelligence should remain as advisors because of the following points on the left of the screen. We understand that artificial intelligence may not turn out to be evil towards humans. However, as superintelligence renders mankind expendable, we find that this risk is too high to bear. As such, artificial intelligence should remain as our advisors until we fully understand how they will operate.